Happy Monday, Ellen. Happy Monday. Hello, hello, Belinda. Hello, everyone. Hello, happy Monday. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so happy to be back. I think last Monday? Where was I? Was I in Cleveland a week ago? It feels like maybe longer. I don't know. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be with you all. I'm super happy to see you or to see your little box circles. So there's some things. There's lots of things. So we have some movement going on right now with Mars and Venus and Uranus, and there's all kinds of stuff that's like moving around that is going to really push us into being open to change, to being flexible and adaptable, to consciously remembering that the universe is pushing us and guiding us and helping us, that when we feel like we are, it's like bumper cars where you're like going in this direction and you like, oh, I hit that one, and you're like, okay, I try to go that one, and you hit that one, and you try to go this one, and you keep hitting, and you're going forward, but you're having to make a lot of twists and turns that you weren't expecting, and you just keep running into stuff. And that may be what it's going to feel like this week, with there's a lot of things moving with some really strong planets, and that's an important thing to know. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. I'm so sorry you're going through a tough time, but you have all of our love and support. So here's how we work for folks that are new. We do some collective, some channeled information from Spirit, just talking about what's going on, what Spirit wants us to know. Then we'll do some collective card readings for everybody, and then we'll do some individual card readings at the end. So hang on with me, Tracy, and hopefully you will get what you need, even if it's not like directed just at you. So I trust them, and I know that they always bring us exactly what we need to hear. So with all of these things that are going on, we have Mars and Uranus that are really strong planets. Saturn too, but Saturn's staying out of it this week. And with Venus, we have a lot of emotions, a lot of emotional things. And so, again, it's this time to be open to embrace change, because at the same time, we are in the first quarter moon. This is Libra. And Libra is about collaboration, right? We have the scales. This is about collaboration. So we do want to expect good things, but at the same time, we want to remember that collaboration is important, but we want to make sure we're not surrendering our power. And a lot of this fantastic information, I want to credit Yasmin Bolin, who is just an amazing astrologer and numerologist. But it's really important that we are remembering that it's not just Mercury that retrogrades. So right now we are having Venus plays a lot with our emotions, and Venus is going into retrograde, so we're in that pre-time of Venus retrograde, so that's coming up. And so Venus is going to be a lot about healing relationships, and healing all of the heart things and the past hurts, and helping us to let go of that crap that we're still holding on to. Back in third grade, she did that, and we're still mad, and all this kind of stuff that we sometimes don't even realize we're holding on to. And so Venus gives us the opportunity to say, I gotta let go of some of this. Like, I don't need to carry this anymore. Because when we continue to hold on to these negative emotions, this anger, this frustration, we really are, it may be unbeknownst to the other person that we even feel that way. And for us, we're just creating this negative energy. We're blocking off the flow of positive energy, and we're creating illness and anxiety and anger and all kinds of ick in the body. So it's important, as we come into things like a Venus retrograde, that we're really paying attention to what's being brought up, because the things that are being brought up are not being brought up to harm us or to, the universe is not going, I told you so. The universe is going, hey, this is something that maybe you forgot about, that maybe you didn't realize was still kind of tucked in a corner of your psyche, that maybe it's time to let go of. And I have that with there was a time for me where I was really being manipulated by an energy vampire, and it took me a lot and a narcissist, and it really took me a lot to get to the place where I realized everything that he was trying to do was to harm me and to manipulate me, but at the same time, the universe had put me in that position in order to help me and to heal me and to push me into a new direction. And so it took me a lot to be able to say, in my mind, I really even need to say it to his face because who cared? I didn't care what he thought, and I didn't want him anywhere around me. But to be able to say to myself, I know that you meant this for harm and for your own personal gratification, but the universe meant this for my blessing. And so for your part that you played, wittingly or unwittingly, I am really grateful for the outcomes. I'm not grateful for you. I'm not grateful for the. You're so cute. Thank you. No, I haven't heard that before. I'm not grateful for you. I'm not grateful for the crap you tried to pull. I'm not grateful for the pain and the hurt and the trauma that you put me through, but I'm grateful for the outcomes. And so this is where we come back to that place where we say, it isn't happening to me, it was happening for me, right? And so many amazing, I mean, I got to the point where it was like gift after gift after gift came out of this trauma. So I came to this place where even though there was trauma and a lot of drama, to be able to say, I completely release all of that. I completely forgive all of that. And yet then I happened to, be at like street fair. And I saw him, completely ignored me. I mean, I'm sure he saw me, but that's his way, is with a lot of narcissists, is just to pretend like you don't even exist. And I was like, okay. But the first time it happened, I was like, all tensed up and got all that knot in my stomach and the anxiety. And he doesn't give a shit. And I was like, why am I acting like that? Why do I care what he thinks? No, I do not. Do I want any part of anything around him? No, I do not. So then why do I don't need to feel like that. We are conditioned to feel like that. When we run into an ex or, someone who we have unfinished business with, we are conditioned, right? Society has conditioned us to be like, and I'm like, I don't need to be like that. He's over there, I'm over here. I don't even want to be over there. Like, whatever, And so sometimes we forget that we have these little, we bury this trauma, we bury these things so deep into our psyches, we just kind of push it away, that we don't remember that we have that little nugget until we see that person or until something reminds us. So my husband and I were watching something on TV the other day, and it was an airplane, and the engine blew up, and the plane, went like this, and the oxygen masks came down, and I'm sitting on the couch going, because I hate to fly, first of all, but the reason I hate to fly was because I was in a plane that did that. 30 years ago, but I was in a plane that did that. And I was like, I fly all the time. It's not, I don't like it when it gets bumpy, but I know that it's okay. I understand. I learned, talked to pilots, learned a whole bunch of stuff. And, kudos to the captain that, landed us safely. But I didn't realize that I could still be triggered by something like that by 30 years later. And my husband's like, you okay? And I'm like, I am. I think I was just caught off guard by the storyline, and it brought up this stuff. And I'm like, but it took that little minute for me to be like, wait a minute. I am okay. And then you can release, so I was able to release all that and be like, I don't need to carry all that. I'm like, whatever, done. And I grabbed my selenite, which, where's my selenite? It's in my travel bag because we just got back. And just to be able to clear all of that out, let me grab my opalite, that works too. And to just be able to clear all that out and say, oh, I don't need to carry that anymore. So let me take that little rock of energy and I'm going to just put it to the side of the road because I don't need to carry that anymore. And so when we have this big, heavy planets like Uranus and Venus and Mars that are moving things, let them. Because we get so caught up in this place of, I roll up my sleeves, I'm going to do it myself. And what Venus in retrograde is talking about is letting us heal things that we may have unfinished or that we may have put aside because we weren't ready to deal with them at that time. And so if things start coming up for you, or if you feel like you want to reach out to a person you had a quarrel with that maybe never got resolved, or if you have someone that reaches out to you, take a beat. Am I okay? How do I feel? Check all your pockets, make sure everything's okay. And then respond. Because Venus is about healing those hurts that we have tucked away and forgotten about. Right? So I just recently moved my son out of one apartment, and then he was here with us for 2 weeks before his next apartment was ready. So this past weekend we moved him into the new apartment. It's going to be awesome. Really excited for him. And at the Same time as I was moving him out and helping him move out, we were cleaning out the fridge and the pantry, and I'm like, ew. Now, to be fair, it wasn't so much him as, the other people that lived there, but ew. And I'm like, people stuck stuff back in the refrigerator and freezer and then just totally forgot about it for ages. But we do that too. And then when you find it, you're like, what is this? Why is this even still here? Ew. And we want to throw it away. But energetically, we do the same thing, right? We do the same thing. So for us, if things are coming up for you as we prepare for Venus retrograde and as we go through Venus retrograde, and thankfully Venus retrograde doesn't happen, as often, just check your pockets, check your limbs, make sure everything's still attached. Am I okay? And then be able to go forward. Check yourself, right? Check yourself first. Because it's okay to take that beat. We're also so conditioned in this instant gratification society that if we have a text message or an email or something that comes in, we feel like we have to answer it right away. Text message, answer it. You don't have to answer it. It'll still be there. Voicemail, that's what voicemail is for. So we have, you don't have to answer every phone call that comes in. Just allow yourself a beat, okay? And then the other thing about this period, this moon in Libra, because we're still in the first part, right? We're in the waning where it's the waxing, so that the moon energy is coming up. So this is that time to say, okay, what am I working on? Am I working on the right things? Am I being guided to go in the right directions? And if I'm collaborating, is it actual cooperation and collaboration, or am I losing a part of myself in here? So we want to make sure that while we're collaborating, we're not allowing someone else to bowl us over. Or, sometimes my husband, because he runs a crew of guys in his work, that sometimes he'll come home and he'll be like, okay, da 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 da, and I'm like, whoa, crew man, I'm not on the crew. We are the collaborators. We go together as partners. We are not. I'm not on the crew. And he's like, oh, right, sorry. So, and it used to just drive me bats. It used to make me so mad. I don't work for you. I'm like, okay, he's not doing it on purpose. I know he doesn't think less of me. Like we have come to this collaboration, right? But we had to deal with that. And so what are those things in relationships that may come up for you in a Venus retrograde? And just allow, because everything that comes up for us in a retrograde especially is about healing whatever kind of things that we may not even remember that we have tucked away in our pockets, right? Have stuff tucked away in our pockets. Had been years ago, we took our kids to a roller coaster park in Texas, and we were driving on. We were on this roller coaster, and it had a series of these where you literally got zero gravity. And the kids in front of me, in the seat in front of me, had change in his pockets, and literally the change flew up out of his pockets. It was a dime, a nickel, and a penny, and it flew up out of his pockets. I saw all three coins just clear as day, and then like that. It was so funny. It was right out of a cartoon. It just went float, stop, choo. And so we get off the roller coaster, and the kids in the car in front of me, the kid's like, I had money in my pocket. I don't even know what happened. I don't know what I had. I said 16 cents. And he just looked at me, and I told him what happened. It was the craziest thing. But that's what happens. We forget that stuff in our pockets. And so these retrogrades, they float this stuff up for us to deal with it so it can be gone. Take it away. They'll take it away. But all we have to do is acknowledge it. We have to address it. We have to deal with it. We don't have to dive all in it. I wasn't trying to catch the money. But just to, allow it to come up so it can be released. Allow it to come up so it can be taken away. Okay? So we have a lot of people who come in. Oh, Brittany, you are a spammer, and so you're banned. See you, bye. If you're a spammer, banned. If you're a spammer, just leave now, because we're going to ban you. Oops, nope. If you're a spammer, just leave, because we're going to ban you. It's really simple. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Hi, Leslie. All right, so if you're a spammer, just go. Wow, we were like a whole bunch of ways 15 minutes in before we even had to have that conversation. Okay, so all these things come up so that they can be addressed. We don't need to dig them apart. We don't need to dissect them. We just need sometimes to acknowledge, to address them, to say, oh, I really okay, like I said, check your limbs, check your pockets. Everything is still okay. Do I need this? No. Done. Okay, it does not have to be a long drawn out process. And I think that we get caught up into this whole retrograde thing because we're like, oh, what's it going to be? Oh, retrograde. I'm like, it doesn't have to be a thing. Just, let it come up, take a look at it. Do I need this? Do I not need this? Great. Go. Done. Okay? Easy peasy. Right. Okay. Most lovely lovely to see you too, Leslie. Thank you. All right, one more thing I wanted to get to. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to talk about, because Neptune is also going to come into our retrograde. Okay, later this month. We're out of this month, but we're in that window for Neptune also, and so this is about relationships, but this is also about introspection. So this is going to be about taking some time, and especially we've got the July 4th weekend coming up, and so for a lot of people, they're going to have that Friday off maybe on June 30th, and then here in America you have like the 1st and the 2nd is Saturday, Sunday, and then you have the 3rd. A lot of people are off on Monday the 3rd, or they're taking off Monday because Tuesday's a national holiday, and that'll be, things will be closed on Tuesday. So for a lot of people, this is a great weekend or week to just slow down and take some breaths and to have some assessment. And so with Neptune in retrograde, approaching retrograde, it's one of those things we want to really go in and take stock of ourselves. Where am I? Where am I going? What do I want to do? Am I on the right track? Am I going where I feel like I want to go, or where I feel like I'm supposed to be going? For a lot of people, myself included, this is also going to start the start of a new fiscal year. And so it's starting on July 1st. And so it's a new beginning for a lot of people. And so it can be a new beginning for any of us. We can have a new beginning any day that we want. You can have, is it that saying they say you can start a diet in the middle of a bag of potato chips? So we can have a new beginning at any point. But this Neptune really encourages us to do some self-assessment. So that's the other thing I wanted to make sure to mention today. All right. So Leslie, the answer to your question is yes. Yes, I am going to do some readings today. And I'm feeling like, those of you who don't know, I have a box. I have a stack of a box of cards, oracle cards on my desk. So I just kind of feel into like which ones. Here's what I think. Here's what I feel. I feel like, because I'm looking at both Colette Baron-Reid's Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'm also looking at JVP's Messages from the Guides. And so here's what I feel like. I feel like I want to do the big reading that is the community reading, the collective card reading from the Wisdom of the Oracle. But then I feel like I want to switch over to JVP's deck for the individual readings. So I'm not sure why that's coming up for me today, but when I looked at the cards, both of the decks were like, pick me! So we will. So I'm going to grab the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So... and we'll do a little double whammy here. So hold on to that, Noreen. Not time yet. Not time yet. So we're going to do a couple of collective card reading. We'll do our reading for the week for everyone. And then we'll come back and we'll do the individual card readings. So we'll do all of those things today. So, all right. And then remember, when it does come time for your personal card, that if there's something that you have a question or something you want to know about, you don't have to tell the group if you don't want to, but if you have that thought in your head, when I get to you, then that helps the oracles to grab that consciousness and be able to address that issue for you. I don't even have to know about it. Okay, so our first card, oh, I love this. Okay, so our first card is going to be peace. And so what you're seeing here is this beautiful green color that is all over, and you can see the green grass and the beautiful sunny skies, and the birds are flying in the wind, and everything is peaceful, which tells us that we're on the right track, we're going forward, everything is okay. Let's take the time to rest, to reflect, right, what we were talking about with Neptune. Take that time to go inside, to reflect. If you have a piece that you can like sit under a tree, I feel like there should be a tree somewhere, but there isn't. But this is the egg. The egg is us, right? We are the egg. We are the, oh my goodness, something just beep beeped on my computer. I don't even know what that is. Oh, you sent me stars. That's so cool. I don't know what that noise was. And so we have this, like, sit under the tree and relax, especially with the July 4th weekend coming up, to just take some time. And so this card is really confirming what we were just talking about, right? Of taking some time to go inside and to have some peace about it, right? And to find our peace about it. Because if you're feeling like you're just like, then maybe you're not finding peace about, and so we need to take some time for that introspection to allow us to find that peace, or to And it's not even that we have to find the peace. It's not the right word. I hear that. It's not the right word. It's allowing the peace, because the peace is there if we will allow it to envelop us, if we will allow it to come up, if we will allow it to be part of us. Because so many times we feel like we're like, I got to find the peace. I got to find my peace within. I got to find the peace. What do I got? I got to meditate. I got to light some candles. I got to find peace. But a lot more often, allowing peace. Allowing peace. We sit quietly. We tune into our breath. We tune into our heartbeat. Maybe we light a candle so that we can, have something to focus on, and we just breathe. And as things come up, we are able to say, okay, do I need this? Do I not need this? And so this is what we were talking about before. And so we check the limbs, right? Everything's still attached. Everything's okay. We check the pockets. Everything is okay. We've got whatever. And we just allow peace, because sometimes we get so in the habit of, if I'm not worrying about something, something must be wrong, right? And we don't even realize that that's the mindset we have cultivated, or we have allowed, that if I'm not worrying about something, something must be wrong. Now I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? And we can release all of that and say, okay, this is about welcoming peace. It isn't necessarily about finding peace, but it's about allowing the peace. Allowing the peace to come in, allowing the peace to come to us. Because sometimes we go, like, if you've ever been on a vacation, you go to the beach or something, you sit on the beach and you're like, we're not allowing peace. It's the most peaceful situation, and we're not allowing the peace. So that we are welcoming the peace. We don't necessarily have to make finding it a full-time job as much as it is about welcoming it. All right, so then this is loyal heart. That's very interesting. Okay, so this is loyal heart, and so this is about talking. This is about the relationships, what we were talking about before, about the relationships. I love, because the oracles, they listen to us, the spirits, the guides, and then they send us the right cards to confirm what we've already been talking about. So this is what we're talking about relationships. We want to make sure, as we're going forward, especially with Venus and Neptune, that we're looking at relationships and we're looking at collaboration and cooperation. We were talking about collaboration so much in this 23 year. Can't believe it's half over already. We've been talking so much about collaboration, but we want to make sure that we are in real collaboration. We're in cooperation. We're not being railroaded by one person or one part of the that relationship. So this is what we were talking about before, about really take some time to assess the relationship. Are you in collaboration with your partner or whoever you may be cooperating with? Could be work, could be family. Or are you being treated like you're one of the crew? And so having that, loyal heart, being loyal to the people that are with you, being loyal to the people around you is super important. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you are on an even keel. Look, they're both sitting on the top of the egg. They're both at the same height. No one's taller than each other. They're the same distance apart. They are, the egg has a heart in it. So all of this is about equality. This is about connection. This is about, making sure that we are all together. And so this is a really important piece of allowing that to stay loyal to what deserves your loyalty, and to just double check in with those relationships to make sure that you are getting what you need, and B, giving what is also needed, so that you're feeling, are you fulfilling and are you being fulfilled at the same time? Because the first heart that we're loyal to is ourselves, right? That's the first place we're loyal, is ourselves. Okay, this is the third card. This is this comes in upside down. This is the here and now card, and this is this reminder for us to stay present in this moment and not to get all caught up in the whatabouts and the what ifs and the worries. And this is what we were literally just talking about a minute ago. Like, if we don't have something to worry about, are we creating something to worry about, so that we can stay in that here and now? So this is just that reminder to stay present in the moment, to stay present in what's happening right now, and not to look for create. We don't need to create more obstacles. We don't need to create more drama. So this is all part of welcoming peace, right? And allowing peace. That we can stay in the present, we can stay connected. And see, look, we're connected to the ground. We've got the direction signs, which way are we going? Everything is okay. And you've got her right now. She's sitting up on top of the egg and she's just floating through. She's like, wherever it goes, I'm good. Because I know it's all going to be okay. Because wherever it goes, that the universe is sending me, the universe is guiding to direct for me. Okay? So we don't have to worry about, like, what happens next. We can stay in the present and enjoy that journey, enjoy that part of it. So this is also reminding us to give back of making sure that we are, again, are we receiving from a relationship? Are we giving into the relationship so that the person that is, that, we're in partnership with is also receiving, that it's not all one way or the other, right? A relationship is not a tug of war. It's that meeting in the middle. Leslie says she has a real problem with overthinking. You are not alone, my friend. You are not alone. So many of us, because we're raised that way, right? We're raised to worry about something. Like, if I don't have something to worry about, then now I'm like, been waiting for the other shoe to drop. And we don't need to live that way. We don't need to live that way. We can enjoy the journey. We can enjoy that path. Okay, so while Leslie was saying that comment, this card popped out, so I'm always very respectful to the jumper cards that popped out. So this is Unfinished Symphony, but it did come in upside down, which reminds us that we are all the unfinished symphonies. There will always be more for us to do. There will always be more for us to want to do. I think the part of like people who retire and they're like, oh, I finished it. Like, I feel like there's not a reality in that. And so we come to this place of knowing that we shouldn't come to the end of our days with our music left unplayed, but at the same time, we don't necessarily need to have this goal of completing all the tasks before we go. And so I feel like we can put pressure on ourselves that way, that we're not doing enough or we're not getting enough done. And so we can allow anxiety to come in, or we can allow peace to come in. And so, okay, so Leslie creates things in her head that haven't even happened. Girl, I am so with you. Like, when I'm in the car, I see the brake lights three cars ahead, and I'm like, what's going on, right? But when we can trust more into the universe, we can trust that they've got us, right? They've got us. That we can say, I think it's an everybody thing, but the more that we can lean into knowing that Spirit has us and knowing that we are okay, that it's okay for us to be unfinished. No, it isn't easy. It isn't easy. It isn't easy. I've talked about this before. I'm listening to them where they want to take this. I've talked about this before, that building and cultivating this relationship with Spirit is a relationship. It is not like, boom, like genie in a bottle. Like, I rub that lamp and all of a sudden, like, the wishes are granted, all the problems are solved. That is not how this works. It is not magic. It is a relationship. And so we build a relationship with our spirit team, our guides, our teachers, our loved ones in spirit, our angels, the animal spirits. We can cultivate this relationship with anybody, but it's a relationship, and it takes time to build, but it also takes a willingness on our part to say, hello, spirit guides, it's nice to meet you. What can you show me today? So this morning when I was out on, we have 3 dogs, and I took them for the walk this morning. I was talking to my husband, and I was like, I really feel like this is going to be okay. And immediately when I said that, a brightest, brilliant blue jay dropped down in front of me. And I'm like, hello, Bluebird of Happiness. Thank you very much for your confirmation. I mean, literally, just right there. So you take that sign and you say, I hear what you're saying. What am I feeling when I see this sign? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? Like, what does this mean to me? Like, what pops into your head? And then believe it, because that's the hard part, right? That's the part where we see this and then we go, oh, that's just a bird, whatever. And then we dismiss it. But the more we can trust, the more that we can say, okay, I hear you. I see that bird. I see you're giving me confirmation. I see that you're telling me that that it's going to be okay. The thing I literally just said, I think it's going to be okay. And the bird pops in and says, yep, it's going to be okay. Okay, what else can you help me with? It's a relationship. The more that we allow them to help us, the more we build trust that they are helping us, the more we build confidence in ourselves that we are not alone, that we are going through life being supported, and the more that we can lean into that when anxiety comes, because I'm watching Tracy and Leslie and Ellen having this anxiety conversation, which I get it. I mean, I've been there, and sometimes I still am. I mean, just because I'm here, I am so not perfect. I am so not in the, like, I've got it all figured out. I have a lot of it figured out. And there's a lot of things that I believe and that I trust. I still get scared. I still have anxiety. I still worry about stuff. I have been so concerned about my, what's going on with my kids, and it's all good. It's all good. It's just mom stuff, and that I feel like I've been, nibbling my cuticles to the ends of the earth, because we all have those things. I love my little. You all have commented so many times on my little curly cues. My hair is very curly, and when it's wet, I just, spin it. But when it's not wet, I still spin it because it's a self-soothe. I have, games on my phone that I play that is, helps me to calm down. The overthinking is what I can say about the overthinking. First of all, let me finish the original thought, which is finding things that are non-harming, self-soothing, like a game on your phone, music, breathing techniques is super, super helpful. So let me talk about breathing for a second, and then I want to talk about the overthinking. So when we start to get anxiety, if you follow me on Thursdays, we do our conscious breaths. We always do our 3 conscious breaths before we start any of our meditations on Thursdays. So we put the tongue on the roof of the mouth. We breathe in as deep as we possibly can, filling the entire body with air. Try not to bring your shoulders up, but expand. And hold that for a second. And then just let the air fall out of the body. And you can collapse a little, not too much, and just pull your belly back to your spine so that you are pushing the air out, so that all of the air is expelled from your body. You are not, you're empty. And hold that, and then do it again. Because what happens is when we get stressed out and we get anxiety and we start overthinking, we breathe up here. We can't think up here. There's not enough oxygen. We're not oxygenating the body, right? So when we look at the lungs have little hairs inside. For me, I love when science and metaphysical mix. We have little hairs in the bottom of the lungs, which clean the air, keep what's going through the lungs into the body clean, right? But the most concentration of the hairs, their cilia, is down at the bottom. It's not up at the top. Okay, so when we breathe and we're stressed and we're breathing, we're not cleaning the air, which means we're breathing in more toxicity. We're breathing in more stuff that is not calming us. We breathe deep, and you do those 3 conscious breaths, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Fill the entire body, not just the lungs, with air. Hold full. Expel. Use your belly. Push the breath out. We're really cleaning the air. We're cleaning the body. And when you do that 3 times, you've exchanged all the air and you've calmed yourself down because you've flooded yourself with oxygen. Because yes, an anxiety attack is an awful, awful experience. Your heart races. You can't feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you're out of control of things. It's awful. And so the first thing we want to remember, this is why they give you a paper bag to breathe into when you hyperventilate, because it helps you to breathe a little deeper because you feel like you're not getting any air in, right? And so we slow our breath down. We take those 3 conscious breaths. Okay. So here's what I want to say about the overthinking. Is the here and now card. Nope, that's not the here and now card. I think I shuffled it back in. So we had the here and now card. Getting rid of toxic people definitely helps. Absolutely. And especially when you can identify that person, like the narcissist, I was like, oh, you have got to go. You just got to go. Sometimes we can't get rid of all the people that are toxic in our lives, but we can strategically avoid. We can also strategically manage. So if you have someone, let's say a family member, I have learned that there are certain family members I can talk to about all this stuff. They want to know what's going on in my life. And there are other family members where I'm like, oh, everything is awesome. Everything's great. How are you? And then, the minute you turn it back on them, because the narcissistic behavior, they're going to just, run with that, right? And so we don't need to engage. That, how are you? Pushes all that away. We don't need to engage. And then, I think I need to go help in the kitchen, or I need to go get a drink, whatever. So sometimes we can't get those people out of our lives, but we can learn how to deal with them strategically. Okay, so let me talk about the overthinking, because I really want to bring this back to the here and now card that we had before. If we have that tendency to self-sabotage, okay, we can take our breaths, but then we want to really take a look around and say, what is really going on? We can only deal with the evidence, the hard evidence. So think about it like you're a detective or a police person, that we can only deal with the things we have real evidence for. I can't imagine what's going to happen next, even with all the things that I may know that I know. I can't imagine what's going to happen next until the thing actually happens. So one of the things that really helps me a lot is reminding myself, assume no ill intent. We're so conditioned that we assume if somebody looks shady, they must be shady. If something looks like they're doing something wrong, they must be doing something wrong. Because this is how they show us things in TV and movies, right? They play the ominous music, it's dark, and you look at the shady person. So we're taught to assume ill intent, right? So if we can remind ourselves, do not assume ill intent. You know, you all have heard me talk about protecting the manatees and being out in the water in the kayaks and things like that. In the place, the state park where I volunteer, I'll come paddling through, and there's the springhead down at the end is a big giant cul-de-sac. It's where where the water starts from. It comes up from the ground, and it on a weekend it could be a party time down there with people with coolers and stuff, and then stuff they're not allowed to have down there. So I got to the point where I would paddle down there, and as soon as I would be coming around the corner, I could feel myself as I was paddling through this most beautiful place that I would get, my anxiety would be getting more and more as I would assume. As soon as I came around the corner, I knew I was going to have to yell at somebody. I knew somebody's going to do something wrong. I was going to have to blow my whistle. I'm like, don't assume ill intent. And you know what happens is the more that I remind myself not to assume ill intent, I don't have to assume there's going to be something wrong when I go around the corner. Then there isn't something wrong when I go around the corner. I can be relieved that there isn't, but I can expect that there won't be. Because most people are great. Most people are lovely. They're nice. They're polite. They respect the environment. They're there to enjoy themselves, have a good time. Every once in a while you get one, asshole, whatever. But don't assume ill intent. So when we're in relationships, or in whether it's professional or personal or familial, whatever, try not to assume that 5 terrible things are coming unless you have evidence of them. And that helps a lot with overthinking. Look at the evidence in front of you. What is going on right now? What can you identify as proof of positive or negative in front of you? And work with what you know instead of what you think might happen 3 cars up because somebody hit their brake lights. We get so conditioned to worry about 5 steps ahead, we forget to be present in the moment and make our decisions off the information we have at the time. You can pick up on vibes. I pick up on vibes too. But let's be careful about making judgments, because are we picking up on the vibes of the person, or are we picking up on the vibes that are being processed through our filter of every other person that we met like that? So it's something to be careful of. If you are usually right, Leslie, it's fantastic. Ask them to give you the vibes for protection, for calm, for confidence, for the positives, instead of only welcoming in the creepy vibes or the scary vibes or the things that make us be like, ugh. We want the good stuff too, because what happens is if we only focus on I don't like that guy's vibe, or girl, or person, we create that filter within ourselves. So the first thing we say is, okay, what am I picking up? Where does it belong? Is it mine? Okay, it's not mine. Is it that person's? Okay, what am I getting? And again, to be careful about jumping to those conclusions, because did that person just get bad news? Did they get fired from their job? Did they, maybe their dog died? We can pick up these vibes that could be right, but they're coming through our filter. So it's just a thing to be aware of. So as we are, even if we are having, absolutely, always trust the guts. Always trust the guts. Always. And keeping in mind that our experience may not be everyone else's experience. So years ago, I worked in TV and movie production, worked on a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, met a lot of celebrities, a lot of cool stuff. And people will always ask, what is your favorite, who was good to work with, who was bad to work with, all those kind of things. And so some of the people that I would say, oh, this person was so great, people would be like, oh, that person's such a jerk, what a narcissist, so ego-y, Okay, that was their experience. But my experience may have been totally different. Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that. And so we want to keep those things in mind. Could that be a bad day? Maybe it's my bad day. Maybe it's their bad day. Maybe it was just a terrible shoot and everybody was all stressed out. I mean, I don't know. So we want to keep in mind not to assume ill intent, to keep the open mind and remember, is what I'm feeling, first of all, is it mine? Second of all, where's it coming from? And third, to remind ourselves that what we're feeling is how we're interpreting what we're feeling, and that we need more information to say, oh, with this person I'm feeling like you might be sad about something. And it could not have anything to do with anything else. And so we just want to use our discretion. This is a big reason why we don't walk up to people in stores and be like, oh, I have a message for you. Because, you never know. What kind of filter are we putting that through? Okay, so let me bring this back around to, of our experiences with a person that looked like that or a person who acted like, something like that. All these things come in and they come through our filter. So as readers, our job is to keep us out of it, right? But so let me bring this back around to the overthinking, especially when it comes to things like sabotaging relationships. I will say to my husband all the time, I feel like I'm getting this vibe off of you. And he's like, no, not, and now in partnerships, it's kind of sometimes a lot harder. This is why we don't read for family members. It's a lot harder to, read off the person that you're like in that relationship with. But to be able to say, I feel like that was what you're thinking. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this. And so this was coming through my filter of, let's say we had that argument once before or something like that. So it's important that we are saying, that we can say, like, this is what I think I'm picking up, or I feel like I'm picking up. Is that accurate for you? Does that feel like where you are? If you are actually communicating with the person. If you're being an observer, like Leslie said, you may just be like, I don't like the look of that guy across the room. And that's okay. But the person could turn out to be the nicest person ever. And so we just want to be very careful about that. But yes, Leslie's right, that it just let it play out. If it plays out how you see it happening, okay, great. But one of the things we want to remember is there's always more than what we can see. Even the best readers in the world don't see the whole story. So it's important that we are keeping that reminder that we're seeing a fraction. There's an old Indian parable that brought like 5 or 6 people together with blindfolds, and they put them next to a large elephant. And each person was asked to put their hands out and describe what they felt and what they thought the thing in front of them was. And the person holding the trunk was like, oh, it's like a wrinkly, it's like dry, it's like a hose. It's like a hose. And the person on the tail was like, oh, it's fuzzy and it's feathery. It feels like hair. And the person in the middle was like, it's a wall. It's a total wall. I don't know. It's a wall. We're never going to be able to move this thing. So we only ever see that little piece, our little piece. And only as it plays out are we able to see the whole picture, right? And so it's important to remember that we are seeing our little piece. So Leslie, I totally understand about not trusting as many people, and you always want to use your guts, right? You always want to trust your guts. If your intuition says, I should leave, totally fine. But if the person that you're maybe feeling that from is coming towards you, we don't have to be rude and to be like, I don't like your vibe, I gotta go. But we can, because we may be wrong. We may not be wrong. But to be able to have that protection. So I love crystals like labradorite or shungite and things like that allow us to protect ourselves energetically when we meet new people. So we all decide for ourselves, but people don't know how to be honest anymore. I don't know if I agree with that, but I think there was definitely like some communication skills that were lost through COVID and through the advent of social media, of people get behind a screen and they feel like they can say whatever they want, right? And so it is okay to take relationships slow, because I think that's something that we have lost, is in this instant gratification society, we have lost the art of building relationship. That the recognition that the relationship, whether we're building it with each other or we're building it with them, takes time. And we expect, like, I didn't vibe with you today, then that's it, forget it, we're all done. That we might build something over time, and we don't give each other a possible, like, the second meeting or the second chance, or we close ourselves off to I don't know. I like the, no, your gut never lies. Absolutely. And Leslie, I'm so glad you have escaped. And it's going to take you time to heal. And things that you're feeling right now are so justified, completely justified. But give yourself the opportunity to look for the blessings. What have you learned, grown, experienced, accomplished? What do you see differently from having that narcissist in your life? Because these things are here to help us. They're here to help us strengthen us and bring us to a new level, right? So that we can see something from a new perspective. So we can choose to stay in the that sucked energy, or we can choose to move forward and to say, well, what did I learn? Like, what blessings came from that horrible experience? And when I started to really work in that, so many more blessings came from that experience than the horrible narcissist that had me in the grips. And even though he knew that, like I knew that he intended all of this for his own nefarious purposes and for his own personal gratification, so much of spirit had brought that to me to be able to bring me to this place, to do this work, to help other people. So that's not why that's not to say that's everyone's thing, but you are strong, Leslie, and it is going to be painful. But go back and watch the beginning of our time today and really start looking at the blessings of what has come out of this. Because so we're in Libra, right? We're in the new moon of Libra, right? In the first quarter. And Libra is the scales. And so right now, it's very tipped to the pain. But start looking for those blessings, because you may find that as you're looking for the blessings, it's going to tip way far the other side. Give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself the opportunity to write. Like, if you want to write in a journal, to like really tell that person where they can go. You don't have to say it to their face. That doesn't matter. It's about you saying it to yourself, saying it out loud, saying it to the universe. The universe is listening. You don't have to go back to that person and say how horrible they were. But to be able to say it out loud, it's like if you get food poisoning and you vomit, you feel much better. We've got to get that toxic crap out of us. I mean, there were so many letters that I wrote, and I read them out loud, and I yelled at them, not the mirror because I'm not yelling at myself, but I yelled at the air, and then I burned them, or I threw them in the trash. A couple things I threw in the compost bin because that's where I thought they belonged and know where he belonged. And a couple things I threw down the disposal because I thought, But get this stuff out. Give yourself the time to get yourself out. And I love that you know how strong you are. That's my girl. You know how strong you are. It doesn't have to be horrible. It was horrible. It doesn't have to be horrible going forward. Where are the blessings? Where are the lessons learned? The strength, places you were strengthened. How can you help others? How can you use this to move yourself forward and to grow and to raise your vibration higher? Okay? Silence from you, that's fine. That expunging part, Leslie, isn't about him. It's about you. It's about healing you. And so, especially as we're coming into this Venus retrograde, it feels like this is all, coming up for you. I feel like you had separated yourself and then kind of shut it all down, and now maybe it's popping back out again. And so this is exactly what this retrograde is time to do, this Venus retrograde. So allow for yourself, because this could be very healing for you. So, all right. Let's shift gears. Many of you have waited extremely patiently for individual card readings, and I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for your indulgence. It feels like this was really an important conversation to have for several of you today, so I'm so grateful for the spirits to guide us in the, there's Ellen right in there, right to me first. I feel like that this is a really important conversation for the spirits to guide us through, to be able to help some people today. Nope, that's okay. All right. So, hello, Bianca, my love. All right, so those of you who are regulars, you know the rules. If you want a card, then you have to ask for it in the comments, because if you just say hi, I won't come to you with a card, because I do not mental trespass. I believe that you have to actually welcome me into your energy, and I love for you to do that. So, Yeah, I think so. Especially Tracy, for you who had your first day to be with us. So, all right. So we do go in order of the comments, and we do go in order of the comments that are on the way I see them, in the order that on my side. So please, please just if I didn't go in the order you thought that I was supposed to go in, please just give a minute and know that that I'm looking at all the comments, and we're gonna come to everybody in the order that I see them. So we're going to have Belinda, and then Ellen, and then Bianca. I see Gina over there as well. So we're gonna do Belinda. All right, Belinda. So we've switched over, as we said we would, to James Van Prague's Messages from the Guides. So Belinda, this is Abundance is Your Birthright. This is to remind you that all the things that are happening right now is to help expand you. This is all this blue energy. This is all about your throat chakra, and also moving into your third eye, because look, you have all the deep colors up here of what you're seeing, where you're being led, where you're being called to, is going to help expand you if you're willing to expand. That this is a time of growth for you, Belinda. That this is going to be this time of expansion for your heart, and also for into your soul, to help expand your journey to be able to go forward in a bigger way. But believe that the abundance is your birthright and welcome it. This goes back to what we were talking about before about, are we looking for peace or are we welcoming peace? And it's the same kind of thing with abundance. Are we welcoming it, or are we just assuming it's not for us? So this is this reminder that says this is for you, Belinda. Abundance is coming your way. Receive it and welcome it. Okay? All right, Ellen Jane. A card to get rid of fear and to allow the comfort of peace. Okay, so allowing is the big word there, Ellen Jane. The allowing is the big word there. So, oh, this card just literally flew out. Okay, so this is practice moderation. You are so welcome, Belinda. So, Ellen, this is practice moderation. And so what this means is this is that it's nothing is all or nothing, right? Everything is, if you're feeling fear, go back to that part of what is the evidence? Like, what am I really, like, what are the facts? Just the facts, Jack, right? What are the facts of this? So we're not letting ourselves go too far into fear, but at the same time, when we're welcoming in, we can't just leap to peace and just be like, okay, whatever. We need that time to build that relationship with spirit, which is what we talked about before. So as you're going forward, just know that you are building this relationship. So this is practice moderation, and it's all about orange and yellow, which is the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So it's all about helping you feel more grounded into yourself and to feel more connected with the above spirits and angels and guides, and the below spirits and angels and guides. So as you are feeling fear, say, okay, moderating fear, what is real here? And then as you are feeling in, okay, I want to bring in more love, you don't have to blindly give everything over, but like, okay, show me something that shows me I'm not alone, shows me love, welcoming spirit, welcoming a sign, building that relationship and building that confidence with them, confidence that they've got you. Okay, so it reminds us to stay in the middle, that we're not letting the wheels come off the train come off the rails, where we're no longer have control and we're just like spiraling into fear. We say, okay, wait a minute, moderation, what is really happening here? And then the same thing when we are being given all of the encouragement of spirit and the signs, to be like, you don't have to be like, all right, I'm just going to turn my life over to you, but you're building that relationship with them. So they're trying to help you from both ends. Okay. Bianca and then Michelle Krantz. Bianca and Michelle Krantz and Belinda. We did. Bianca. Okay, Bianca. Lead by example, Bianca. Lead by example. Keep going. You're on the right track, Bianca. But I feel like you need to no, I don't like to use that word need, but I feel like it's an opportunity for you to step forward into your power to claim more of what you want. Also, I'm aware that this has to do with your daughters, to make sure that you are, you know what they say, do as I say, not as I do. I feel like that it's getting important to do as you do and not so much as you say, to really walk the walk with your daughters, to be that example for them. But it's not just your daughters. I mean, it does feel like it has to do with your daughters because I see the two little girls with you. But it's also about like staking your claim and like saying, this is what I want, and standing in that power of it. Allowing yourself to put yourself out there for, it's like a step up. I'm not sure if it's a promotion or if it's there's an opportunity to transfer, but there's some piece that has to do with, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try. Because even if I don't get it, at least I put myself out there for it. So this is what I'm feeling about this, Bianca, is to allow yourself to put yourself out there to go for the thing that you want. It doesn't matter about whether you get it or not, but you're giving yourself the opportunity to be in the game. And I feel like that's important. So, okay, Michelle. Oh my heavens. Splattering cards all over the place. Okay. Michelle Krantz. Stay open-minded, Michelle. And it isn't just about, this isn't just about, like, this isn't about judgment, but it's being open-minded to what the universe is trying to show you. This isn't about, oh, I meet a new person, I need to be open-minded about, my judgment of them or something like that. This is about being open-minded to what the universe is trying to show you. There's places where you're being pushed forward that the inclination inside is to be like, oh no, that's not for me. And they're like, be open-minded because it might be for you. Okay? So allow these things, especially the thing that's coming up like more than one time. A couple of different people have mentioned it. It's come up in conversation. And there's this piece that's like, no, that's not for me. And so what they're talking about is it might be. Be open-minded to that, Michelle. Okay. So Tracy. And then we're going to jump over to Gina. Bianca, you are welcome, my friend. All right, Tracy. All right. Welcome, Ellen. You are welcome. All right, Tracy and then Gina. All right, Tracy. Possess self-confidence. I feel like you do. This is a reminder card. I feel like you really own your shit there, girl. Tracy, I love this card for you because it has all the colors, right? But it's you stay in your higher chakras a lot, the blues and the pinks, and then it's reminding you to, like, don't forget to get grounded. Don't forget to stay, like your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, but you live a lot in your higher chakras, the third eye and the crown chakra, which is fantastic. But you have this confidence, and you know who you are, but it is this reminder to, because we read the card from the bottom up, and so this is this reminder to don't forget to get grounded. This is a reminder to check back in with the earth, and have that self-confidence, yes, because you do, but that open-minded part comes with it too. And so I'm reminded of what we were talking about before with the elephant, to receive because you are confident and because you control your energy, you have more of an ability to receive things that come at you and decide, I'm going to let this in, or I'm going to deflect this out. It's like the Karate Kid, okay? Like, you can come in, nope, I'm going to karate you out. So believe that you have that ability, Tracy, so that you can, I feel like you can open the door a little bit more. I feel like you, like Leslie, have been hurt, and so therefore there was like this close of the doors, and they're saying that, Tracy, you have some strength, that you can open those doors again, that you can receive other things now. Trust in your abilities. Trust in your abilities. Don't doubt your abilities, which I don't feel like you do. I do feel like there's some training that may need to be in there as well. If you have the opportunity to catch some seminars or something like that to just hone your skills a little bit, I feel like that would be good, because you have the confidence to go forward in this. I'm not sure if you had ever thought about doing some of this work but it might be something to think about. Just what I'm feeling. Hello, Zoe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're going to, jump over to Gina is next, and then we're going to come back to, oh, look, see, Rochelle, I knew that you were banned from page because you're a spammer. See you, bye. Banned. We have no, we have no spammers. You are deleted. We have no spammers. Interesting, the spammers today had like more contemporary names, where a lot of times the spammer names are something like really hard to pronounce. So, all right, Gina, and then Zoe, we're going to come right back to you. All right, Gina, forgive yourself, but this came in upside down. This is just a reminder that you are on the right track. You are going in the right direction, and look how blue it is. Look how blue it is, and a lot of like purple streaks in there as well. So this is also trusting your guidance, right? So we forgive ourselves for the things that we may have done or not done in the past, but at the same time, we want to trust our higher guidance. So this is a reminder, just again, that you are going in the right direction, but it's important to trust your instincts, okay? Trust your instincts. You've been working hard to kind of connect in with those guides and things like that, and to connect in with your guts and your higher guidance. So it's really important for you to be able to trust yourself, and to trust. You know how we talk about trust the niggle? Trust your intuition. Lean into that a little bit more, because I feel like you're on the right track there, Gina. So, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so Leslie, did I skip you? I thought I did you. I know I saw your comments come through. Did we not get Leslie back in the beginning? Oh my heavens, so sorry. Maybe you just weren't ready yet. Okay, all right, so we're gonna do, we're gonna do Zoe, and then we're going to do Leslie. All right. Make a coffee. Sounds like a great idea. All right, Zoe. So we have it says ask for guidance, and this is your first time being here, I think. And here you are asking for guidance. So this card, Zoe, has you have the flame that says you're a fire. You have this is a confirmation. You have lit the candle. You are connected in with spirit. You are welcoming them in, which is important. And then you have all of the colors here. So you have the blue and the purple down here, which is the higher chakras, which means that you are really working on trying to connect in with those higher guidances. And then you are having into the pink, which, the hot pink for me is still love, even though we know the heart energy is green. But you have then this reminder to stay grounded, right? So that we don't get lost in trusting everything to spirit. We don't want to just surrender and give everything over to spirit and be like, okay, whatever, right? We have free will, and we get to be part of this. So this is reminding you that as much as you're trying to tap into, because I want you to see the blue and the purple down here, as much as we're trying to tap into the spirit and connect in with our guides, it's really important that we stay grounded and that we are not surrendering ourselves to spirit, but we are working in collaboration with them. So this is the message for Zoe, is this is the reminder that it's a collaboration. It is not parent-child. It is not something that we are surrendering to spirit. Okay, so I know some people talk about when we're in meditation, or when I'm doing mediumship work, or I'm doing like deeper psychic work, I'm absolutely surrendering to spirit. When I am doing channeled work, there's situational things where I am surrendering to spirit to open myself as a channel to let them come through and to either speak words through my mouth or to give me information for the client sitting across from me. That is not the day-to-day life things. We are not surrendering everything over like, oh, okay, where should I spend my money, or what should I invest in? Like, we want to use common sense. We want to keep a collaboration with spirit. And so, Zoe, I feel like that's the message that's for you. It's fantastic that you are asking for guidance, but remember that it's a collaboration that you're building, okay? It's a collaboration. Okay. Fantastic. Gina, you are so welcome, my friend. All right, Leslie somehow got missed. Hi, Kylie. All right, so we're going to get Leslie so we didn't miss her. And then we'll have to wrap it up because we've got other commitments today. It's a busy day. All right. Leslie. All right. Leslie. Hi, I love this card for you, Leslie. Look, it's all full of green, love, heart energy, and it says death is an illusion, okay? I love this for you, Leslie, because you've had the death of a relationship, right? And it may have been a relationship that you even killed, which is, in this particular instance, this was a good thing. But death is the illusion because it's not. We talked about this, about how going back through and sifting through the rubble to pull out the blessings, That relationship may be dead. That person is well out of your life, but there's still stuff in there that is important for you to heal your heart, to rebuild your ability to trust others, like you had mentioned, and to be able to help you move forward so that you will be ready, wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the next relationship. So Leslie, I love this card for you. Death is an illusion. It's all about you now doing that postpartum to look through the rubble, to find those blessings so that you can use them to heal yourself, strengthen yourself, empower yourself, and to be able to move forward in a positive and blessed way. Oh, what a great way to end. Leslie, thanks for being the last. Thank you for waiting and being guided by Spirit to, make sure that we didn't miss you so that you could be the person to leave us on the most wonderful reading. So I am so grateful for all of you for being here today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I'm going to always just pick one card to carry us out the door, which is know your truth. And again, you have all the colors here, which means trust in yourself, trust in your relationship that you're building with your guides. Trust as you are being led to go forward, and always trust and know that you are so very, very loved. I will see you back here for meditation on Thursday evening, and I hope you all have a fantastic week. Mwah!